History is more than a collection of stories. It is a scientific study of the past, driven strictly by the recovery of physical evidence. To organize this vast timeline, historians rely on a tri-level classification system. We map these eras based on the evolution and readability of written language. The timeline splits into three distinct branches. The prehistoric era has no writing at all. The protohistoric era contains written text that we still cannot decipher. And the historic era provides a readable, continuous textual record. Historians have also built frameworks to categorize these periods based on physical evidence. Christian Thompson organized the timeline by the primary metals found at archaeological sites, while John Bruce developed a framework resting on the presence of script. Because the prehistoric period entirely lacks a written record, our understanding of early human survival is derived exclusively from what they left behind, specifically stone tools and fossils. This systematic study of the past has a long lineage. The Greek writer Herodotus, pictured here, is recognized globally as the father of history. In the Indian subcontinent, that foundational role belongs to Sir Alexander Cunningham, recognized as the father of Indian archaeology. The discipline in India took a major step forward in 1863. That year, Robert Bruce Foote unearthed the first physical evidence of a Paleolithic civilization on the subcontinent. Today, the physical record of this timeline is preserved at the Indira Gandhi Rastriya Manav Sangrahalaya, a national archaeological museum operating under the Ministry of Culture, named for the former Prime Minister pictured here. Without the groundwork laid by these early archaeologists, the timeline of early humanity would be a collection of myths rather than a verifiable chronological map. The earliest phase of this map is the Paleolithic period. Stretching from 2 million BC down to 12,000 BC, this was the era of the food gatherer. During this massive expanse of time, early humans shared the same primary objective as the wildlife around them: constant migration to secure enough calories to survive. These rough early hand axes show how they hunted. The massive, crude edges were designed to take down large game through blunt force. The trajectory of human history shifted with the discovery and control of fire. As survival became slightly less precarious, early humans began to exhibit a new behavior: the urge to document their environment through art. These specific cave paintings from Bhimbetka in Madhya Pradesh depict red stick figures hunting horned animals, providing direct proof of early artistic capabilities. This journey started on the African continent, the cradle of mankind. However, the complex structures of society would later emerge in Asia, known as the cradle of civilization. The Paleolithic era was defined by passive consumption. At this stage, humanity survived the conditions of nature without controlling them. That control began to emerge during the Mesolithic period, first documented by archaeologist A.C.L. Carlisle in 1867. This phase from 12,000 BC to 10,000 BC served as a crucial transition. These three artifacts are microliths. The massive boulders of the previous era were replaced by these sharp, slender, and specialized stone points. With more efficient tools came a psychological shift. Humans began conducting the antieshti, formal funeral programs and last rites. The archaeological proof for this behavior lies in the earliest human skeletons ever excavated in the Indian subcontinent, found at Sarai Nahar and Mahadaha in Uttar Pradesh. We also see the initial signs of cross-species cooperation. Excavations in Adamgarh and Bagaur show the earliest evidence of animal husbandry. The archaeological record confirms that the dog was humanity's first domesticated animal. Refining tools to hunt effectively and establishing rituals to honor the dead mark humanity's leap from pure survival to building complex social bonds. The Neolithic period spans from 10,000 BC to 3000 BC. The findings of this era were first formally presented in 1865 by Sir John Lubbock, pictured here. The defining characteristic of the Neolithic era is the shift away from a nomadic lifestyle in favor of permanent housing. This was a matter of logistics. The discovery of agriculture and animal husbandry required humans to stay anchored to one location to tend their crops and livestock. Farming produced a surplus of calories. To protect this excess grain, humans engineered the first pottery, known as manaka. To transport these agricultural yields across land, they invented the wheel. The scale of these early pastoral communities is evident at sites like Sanganakalu in Karnataka, where massive ash mounds have been excavated. By providing a consistent, storable food supply, agriculture removed the biological necessity of migration and enabled the first permanent human settlements. This map highlights the region between the Suleiman and Kirtar Hills in Balochistan, focusing on Mehergarh, the paramount site for the earliest agricultural evidence in the subcontinent. The stratigraphy here reveals the systematic cultivation of wheat and barley dating back to 7000 BC. In the harsh, freezing climate of Kashmir, we find a different type of Neolithic settlement at the Burzahom site. This deep, excavated circular pit is a gartavas, or pit dwelling. Humans dug directly into the earth to insulate themselves from freezing surface temperatures. Burzahom also offers a look at early social structures. Grave sites here reveal human masters buried side by side with their dogs. While Mehergarh cultivated wheat by 7000 BC, excavations at Koldiwaha in the Balan Valley show ancient rice cultivation by 6000 BC. Recent excavations at Lohura Dewa have pushed this timeline back even further, revealing rice cultivation between 9000 BC and 7000 BC. Whether digging insulated pits in Kashmir or organizing harvests in the Balochistan hills, early humans proved they could adapt and engineer their environments. The final phase of this prehistoric timeline is the Chalcolithic period. It marks the twilight of the Stone Age and the very beginning of humanity's first experiments with metal. This flat, oxidized tool represents a massive leap forward. It is copper, the first metal discovered and utilized by humanity. The introduction of copper tools allowed for more intensive crafting and specialized manufacturing, a shift that paved the way for the sophisticated urban centers of the Indus Valley. A crucial hub for this early metalwork was Navdatoli in Madhya Pradesh, a major Chalcolithic site excavated by H.D. Sankalia. Mastering copper provided the technological capacity necessary to support the dense urban planning that would soon follow. This carved unicorn seal and its undeciphered script show where Chalcolithic production led, directly into the advanced Protohistoric Indus Valley civilization. This flowchart illustrates the scale of the journey. We move from striking crude stones in the Paleolithic to planting seeds at Mehergarh in the Neolithic, and finally smelting copper in the Chalcolithic. Every insight we have into this evolutionary arc relies entirely on the silent testimony of buried artifacts and ruined settlements. This progression from a worked stone to a copper tool is the physical record of humanity gradually mastering its environment, one material at a time.
If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like and share this story. Subscribe for more untold legends from across the world. What should we cover next? Tell us in the comments below.